What's up? This is 22Bullets right here. So today I want to talk about my new track together with RMCM. It's called Surya. It should be out by now on Dharma worldwide. So today I'm going to show you how I do the leads for this track. So first let's take a listen at the track on how it sounds, and then I'm going to show you every layers on how it sounds one by one. So let's go. Alright, so that's basically how the track sounds. So now let's start with the leads. Alright, so first, for most of my production, I would divide leads into three kind of groups. The first would be the characters. It means how I want the leads to sound like. And then the second would be the body of the leads. It's gonna be the layers that give the body and the vibe to the leads. And then the third one, it's gonna be the support leads that just come in from time to time, that adds like a color to the sounds, so it's not boring just with one or two sounds like all over the track. Alright, so the first one, the characters leads. Let's take a listen. So the characters consist of two layers. So the first one, it's kind of like this is it. It sounds like those like maybe all hexagon kind of leads, the one with the filler cut off doing the thing, that the wap wap kind of stuff, if you know what I mean. So it's a preset from the Avengers. It's called Move It, right? Yeah, it's called Move It, right? So it sounds like this. Alright, that's how it sounds. With the processing, I used the Novel Tech, this one. Basically this is like what OTT does, but it sounds a little bit different. So because later I'm gonna use the OTT, the reason is I want like each layers to have like its own characters, so together it would sound like a really huge track. And I distorted a little bit in the higher frequencies range with this plugin called Overdrive from Ableton. As you can see here, it has a little bit of the filter here, so you can choose whether you want your sounds to distort, whether it's going to be the low, the mids, or the highs. Yes, and a little bit of the EQ, just cutting the harsh frequencies and the lower parts. So basically this one is a little bit wider kind of sound, so together it fill up the frequency spectrum pretty nicely. Yeah, for this one I used the S1 imager to enhance the width of the sounds. So it sounds like this, and together it sounds like this. So once I have this leads group done, I move to the next one. It's gonna be the characters and the body of the leads. So it consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it consists of 5 layers of the sounds. Right, let's take a listen on how it sounds. So the first one, it's a leads from Avengers again, and for this one I distorted it a lot with Decapitator and make it a little bit wider with Dimension Expander and the wow filters, just doing the low pass cutoff. But the reason I use this plugin is because the resonance, it's really harsh in a good way, I mean. So yeah, and I also, as you can see here, I remove a lot of the higher frequencies and the harsh one, because once you use that Decapitator, it adds a lot of like harmonic to the sounds, so you have to cut it off, but it's worth it. So it sounds like this. Yeah, and the next layer is a brass sound, which sounds like this. So the reason I also use the brass is because for this kind of track you would need an instrument that is really organic, so it would give you that kind of like human touch to the sounds. And the next layer is a guitar from Nexus. It sounds like this. Yeah, again in this plugin, as you can see here, I use OTT here and a little bit of compression, maybe with a couple of dBs gain reduction. Also here I use the Elation EQ to boost up like the higher frequencies range, because the reason I use Alicia is because it sounds really good when you boost it. So if you use the EQ from Ableton, maybe you can get away with it, but I'm not a big fan of boosting stuff with that EQ. But for this one, you can boost a lot of stuff without killing the sounds. And with all the processings, it sounds like this. And that fret sounds, that wow, the squeaky sound is just so good. So the next one, it's a sounds from Contact Exhale library. It's a kind of a vocal leads that sounds like this. Yeah, it adds something different to the leads, like a cool color. Again, like I told you, I'm a big fan of like using like a lot of plugin, but just like for subtle adding. With this one, I use SSL, but in here I only use the EQ. So I boost a lot of highs here in the 8K range. So it really pop up in the mix, because like when I check on the spectrum, my leads was a little bit missing in that area. And to get a full leads, you should always put spectrum on the master, and when you solo all your leads, it should sound like a hand fan, if you know what I mean, like hand fan, like the fan that you use it like this, like the hand fan. Yeah, it should sound, it should looks like this. Yeah, then it means you're already good to go. And the next one is a plug from Serum. It sounds like this. It's just like adding that attack to the whole groups. And then after that, when I was like producing from time to time, it somehow it just I felt bored of the sounds, so I used the flute just to add a layers in some parts of the leads, not always, just in some parts. So you know, like it brings like a different colors to the track. So this is the sound I use. It sounds like this. It's a Contact Pash, I believe. Let me check for you guys. Yeah, it's a Bread of Anatolia. I really love this, like the flute here. As you can hear, like I use this a lot in my production, or even on my pop tracks. Like you will hear it a lot. So here I distorted it a little bit. Yeah, not a little bit, like actually shitloads of of distortion and OTT, and I cut off loads, of course, to leave rooms for bass and the subs. And over here the lead is just pitching up like 3 semitones to add that kind of rises, so it sounds a little bit cooler. Like I don't hear that a lot in progressive tracks. Yeah, so basically that's how I do my leads, but as you can hear it, you don't hear any reverbs, right? So what I do is I resample it as a stems, so I only have 3 stems to import back into the actual projects, so I can add whatever, how much reverb it needs. So here, like as you can see, there were like shits, like a lot, tons of layers. So that's why I need to make it a stem, so it only leaves me with 3 stems to go back into the actual projects to work on it, and I can add reverb and a little bit more EQ. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn a lot, and I hope to be back soon on Dharma recordings. All right, ciao.